The Police. The Police are a band that you either love or you're a Black Lives Matter supporter. Nah, but seriously, the Police are honestly one of my favorite bands of all time. Sting's vocals can go from the most fiercest of punk to the most soothing of melodies, whilst also laying down the groove with his awesome bass playing. Andy Summers is responsible for some of the most unorthodox guitar playing of that era, and Stuart Copeland hitting those skins like they owe him money, making him one of, if not the greatest drummer of all time. Seriously, Neil Peart wishes he was as good as him, and that hack Mike Portnoy can take a long walk off a short cliff. But then again, I guess being in the winery dogs is a fate worse than death. But anyway, the Police were formed by drummer Stuart Copeland with the then unknown Gordon Sumner, better known for his stage name Sting, a name he got from his habit of wearing black and yellow jackets, which mirrored that of a bee. They hooked up with a guitarist named Henry Padavani, and while playing a small tour at London bars and pubs, and also touring as an opening act for other bands, they released the Fallout single. Let's talk about it. Fallout. Oh boy, I love this song so much. The punk ferocity, probably responsible from the huge recording budget of 150 euros. Sting's angry delivery, Stuart's pissed off drumming, murdering those skins, and the primitive guitar playing from actually Stuart, believe it or not. He played all of the guitars on both this song and the B-side, Nothing Achieving, with Henry Padavani only playing solos on both tracks. This happened because he was extremely nervous on the day this was recorded. Nothing Achieving. This song is actually pretty heavy and actually has a really nice chug. No shit, the riff sounds like it was almost copy-pasted from System of the Universe by Black Sabbath. But it's still having a nice punk rock bite to it, so for that reason alone, I pretty much have to love it. But yeah, that's the Fallout single. Don't really have too much to say about it. It was produced by Stuart Copeland and Barry Hammond, and the band says the only reason it sold as much as it did was because Mick Jagger said very nice things about it, and also from the fact that punk was just starting to blow up and was one of the first punk records to come out. After this, Sting and Stuart briefly played in a band called Strontium 90. Whilst in the band, they met Andy Summers, who was 10 years older than both Sting and Stuart, and who was a bona fide veteran, having played in many bands before meeting either of them. And he made a big impression on Sting, with him asking to join the Police. Andy agreed, but only if they fired Henry Padavani. The band declined out of loyalty, and for a brief time, the Police were a four-piece, but they only ever played 2 shows with that lineup. But after these shows and a failed recording session with John Cale, formerly of the Velvet Underground, Andy gave them the ultimatum that either Henry was out or he was out. Sting and Stuart caved in, and at first this worried their manager, Miles Copeland, that they would lose their punk edge, but it ultimately gave birth to the classic trio, Sting, Stuart Copeland, and Andy Summers. But anyway, enough talking, let's get into the band's debut album, Outlandos, The More. Next to You. Holy shit, I love this song so much. This is the perfect way to not only start the album, but to start the band's career. This was actually one of the first Police songs I ever heard, believe it or not. I originally heard it from The Offspring, and even though I loved their cover at the time, looking back on it and comparing it to the original, it does kinda suck. And the band originally tried to convince Sting to write different lyrics to the song considering how high energy punk it was, but Sting wouldn't budge, and because of it, it gave birth to one of the first punk rock love songs. And also this song is one of the best examples of how important Andy Summers and Stuart Copeland were to the band. They basically said that Sting would write these pussy love songs and that they would policify them. And think about it, if this song came out on like Dream of Blue Turtles or something, it would have sucked. So fuck you to all the people who say that Sting made the Police. Was he important? Well, fuck yeah he was. But he wasn't the only thing that made them successful. Oh, and by the way, what you're seeing right now in the background is an unofficial video I made for this song. I know, I just decided as I was writing the script, I'm like, I'm gonna do my best to try and make an unofficial video for this song. And I did, and I think it came out pretty well. Though I did kind of fuck up a little bit in a couple of areas. But besides that, I think I did a pretty damn good job, especially for my first attempt. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have a link to it right here, right? I'm just gonna, yep, just let it sit there for a bit. Go on, watch it. I'll wait. I'll still be here. Watch it. We're good? We're good. So lonely. Oh hell yes, I love the smooth, almost funky type reggae. And it's funny that the second track off of a quote-unquote punk band's first album is a reggae song. And they did this because they didn't have much interest in just doing punk and being all out punk for the most part, so they decided to go into different directions from time to time. One of those directions being reggae, since the genre was so accepted within the punk community. So they made themselves a nice little niche of both punk and reggae, which they kept for the next album after this, Reggae de Blanc. And people thought that the song's lyrics were meant to be ironic somewhat, since they're really starting to get big at the time and they're singing about being lonely and stuff. But Sting came out and said that the song's lyrics are indeed genuine, and that I really did feel lonely and isolated at the time. And Sting also admitted to using No Woman No Cry by Bob Marley as the basis of this song. Roxanne, a song about falling in love with a hooker. I think we've all been there. Wait, just me? Oh. Okay then. The song came to Sting when he saw a bunch of seedy prostitutes in Paris while the band were on their first tour. And now for a bit of a history lesson, this album was recorded for about 1,500 euros over the course of 6 months, when they only came into the studio when someone cancelled or whenever the studio had free time. And at the time, the band didn't think too highly of the song, but Miles Copeland heard it, loved it, shopped it around, and got the band a record contract from a major label, A&M. Roxanne was then released as a single, but did less than nothing at the time, believe it or not. So the band decided to do a short club tour in America, and by doing this, it gave them a bit of a popularity boost by the time they came back to England. And taking the band's newfound momentum, they re-released Roxanne, and it was a goddamn smash. But what do I think of the song? I mean, I do love it, don't get me wrong, but I do like a lot of their other hits better. Like Message in a Bottle I like more, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Everything She Does Is Magic, Don't Stand So Close to Me, among others. But that doesn't mean I hate the song, because I don't. I fucking adore it. I just simply don't like it quite as much as everyone else, for reasons I'm not quite sure of myself, to be honest. But put it this way, if I have to be objective, I recognize that it's one of the best Police songs. It's just not one of mine, if that makes any goddamn sense. Hole in My Life. I kinda used to hate the song. No shit. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because it was so slow compared to everything else on the album, or I just didn't like the song's particular brand of reggae. I'm not exactly sure. But now I would say that I do like it quite a bit. I'm not sure I'd say I love it, but it has grown on me considerably. Especially since I used to pretty much hate it. Peanuts. This song is about Rod Stewart and how Sting grew a dislike for him even though he's a fan of his for many years. Sting said, "I used to be a great fan of his, but something happened to him. I hope I don't end up like him." But since Sting became rich and famous, he came to view Stewart in a different light since he's walked a bit in his shoes. But yeah, I love this song. It's fucking awesome. I love how venomous Sting is with his delivery. You can tell he's pissed at Rod Stewart while he's singing this. Also, the song kinda sounds Beatles-esque. And by that I mean it sounds like when the Beatles got heavy. But anyway, Peanuts is a great track and I think it's an underrated gem. Can't Stand Losing You. My second favorite song of this album, I absolutely adore it. It's about someone killing himself after pretty much being at wit's end with his life and pretty much being driven to suicide. Oh, and by the way, fuck you, Sting, for bashing this song's lyrics. Hey, Sting, you and me both know that this stuff just shits all over your boring, crooning, vapid horse shit that you call a solo career. I just want to say this before I get hate or whatever. Look, this is my opinion. My opinion. I don't like Sting solo shit. If you like it, good for fucking you. I just personally don't. But anyway, back to the song. You can tell there's something up with this song because it's very dark, especially for this band's standards. Oh, and that breakdown. I guess this is our last goodbye, and you don't care, so I won't cry. And you'll be sorry when I'm dead, and all this guilt will be on your head. God, I love this song so goddamn much. Just everything about it is perfect. Truth hits everybody. Not only is this my favorite song off the album, it's also my second favorite Police song of all time. The only song that tops it in my opinion is King of Pain, but that's mainly because I have a very emotional attachment to King of Pain, but this song is up there in my personal pantheon for the sheer brilliance of the song itself. And my favorite part of this song, believe it or not, is actually the pre-chorus. It almost transcends the rest of the song in my opinion. Take a look at my new toy, it'll blow your head into oh boy. And the same thing goes for the breakdown with those church bells. I mean, it gives me goosebumps. And I mean, this is up there as one of the best punk songs ever written in my opinion. And my interpretation of this song's lyrics, I think it's about the fact that eventually everyone realizes their mistakes. Like sometimes you look back at your life and you think about how much you fucked up at one point or another, even if you didn't realize it at the time. And I think we've all been there before. Well, unless of course you're crazy or something. Born in the 50s. Another song I never used to like too much, but I have grown to like it. I mean, this song is basically a parody piece of the 1960s, at least lyrically. I mean, they mention the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the Beatles, the fear of nuclear war, and the reliance on television, as well as the lyrics just about being a teenager and growing up. But yeah, overall, I do really like this song, you know, just for its lyrics alone, man. Be My Girl. I really like how the song starts with just that awesome guitar riff, and the bass slowly coming in, then blasting off with the drums, while the guitar is still playing the same riff, almost like Andy was just doing his own thing while Sting and Stewart just played around him. But yeah, I like the beginning and the end of the song. And that's about it, because I could care less about Andy Summers talking about his blow-up doll. But originally it was supposed to be a normal song, but for some fucking reason, they didn't finish writing it. So they're like, hey Andy, why don't you go talk about your sexual fetishes since we don't want to have to finish this song. Overall, this is my least favorite of the album, definitely. It wouldn't be if they just finished it though. Masoka the closing instrumental track. I have absolutely no idea why I like this song as much as I do. I'm kind of torn. Part of my brain wants actual lyrics, but the other part of my brain just won't stop bubbling my head because of this awesome melody. And have a good guess which side is winning. And that puts an end to Outlandos the More. The album not only responsible for launching the career of Sting, but as well as the rest of the Police as superstars. And you can probably guess that this is my favorite Police album. And now don't get me wrong, because I love Reggae Blanc, I love Zenyatta Mandata, I love Ghost in the Machine, and I love Synchronicity. I mean, I love all those albums, but none of them even come close to the debut in my opinion. And the only one that really comes close is Regatta, because, you know, it's kind of similar in a lot of ways, but even then, it still really doesn't come close, but that's just me, I guess. And I dug every track, even Be My Girl, which I ragged on a lot because I hate the spoken word section, but you know, it's still listenable and better than most bands' best songs in my opinion. Alright, now before I leave, I just kind of want to give you guys a bit of an update for what's happening. Like, there's probably not going to be any review next week, I highly doubt it, mainly because I'm moving right now, so I'm really busy with a lot of things. Yeah, I know, it's only been 7 months, and I'm already moving. Fuck you, Facebook! I'm doing this and like Facebook goes off anyway. I just want to say that like I'm not doing any kind of like probably not gonna be doing any kind of videos. I might do some unofficial videos or I might work on some because I had a lot of fun doing that video for Next to You. So I'm gonna do some more. I've already got some planned. So you know, give me some suggestions for some to do. Cause hey, if I like the song and I like the band, why the fuck not? Let's do it. But anyway, you can tell these parts are totally freeform and unscripted. I'll just say that anyway. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.